Welcome to Day and Night Prime Debate. Well, they say all marriages are happy. It's the living together afterward that causes all the trouble. But then it is also said that in every marriage more than a week old, there are grounds for divorce. The trick is to find and to continue to find grounds for marriage. But it's a whole new world, one of instant gratification. So have the contours of marriage changed? When couples get married now, are the expectations somewhat different? And to what lengths are they willing to hold on to their dream, as it were, and to work on it? That's what we try to find out in Prime Debate. People are more choosy, more demanding, more circumspect, and at the same time they want more space. So how does it really work out?
Infidelity. Who would discuss it? Many of us must be pursing our lips in an impressive show of puritanical distaste. In some parts of the world, you would be stoned at the slightest suspicion of having indulged in the forbidden fruit. It is enough to ruin reputations, leaving some of us in a social or emotional mess. But with all that, it's very much there. Isn't that telling? Actually, you cannot talk about infidelity in isolation. It's a culmination of emotional complications that build up over years. There are people who get married to the wrong people for the wrong reasons and discover the love of their lives too late. Then there are some who are in a position of power and feel a little dalliance is a matter of right. They will create a mess but won't be around to clean it up. There are people who are simply bored. They would sleep with someone one night and go back to being dutiful spouses the next day. All memory of the fling erased. But in the end, it's a call for help from both sides. Infidelity exists among us, but there are no villains. Everyone concerned needs help. Be it the spouse, the other man, or the other woman. In fact, the one who looks like the villain is probably the weakest link. Discuss infidelity by all means, but don't judge.
Are couples also less willing to accept differences and carry on? Well, to discuss the modern day society vis-a-vis marriages, we have with us in our studios, and on my left, Dr. Jagat Jairath, who is a psychologist, Rajsi Sarda, a consulting psychologist, Rajbir Singh Sandhu, a fitness consultant, and on my extreme right, Guinea and astro consultant, and Pritpal Shergill, who is interested in community work. Well, thank you all for being with us in our studios. I'm going to begin with Dr. Jairath. Dr. Jairath, the whole dissatisfaction in the marriages, it's a concept which is not new. It was always there. What probably has now changed is that people are getting more verbal, and verbal is being accepted. Do you agree with that?
That's, I think, true. If we look at marriage maybe 50 or 60 years back even, and maybe some parts of the country even today, marriages are unhappy, and they remain so for a number of years, and nobody thinks of getting out of that, and they didn't earlier. And sometimes the marriages worked after maybe 5 years, maybe 6 years or 10 years. Now nobody is willing to wait that long today, and neither should they. In modern times, we don't expect people to wait so long for marriages to work out. Earlier the pressures were from outside. The family pressure, the societal pressure, the economic pressure on the woman to stay on in the marriage, which has changed in a big way, at least in the urban areas.
Right. You know, Rajshri, that's a valid point Dr. Jairath has just said. That people now are getting a little more independent in their thought. Especially where urban.
Absolutely.
Is it more so because of the woman? Because a woman made a marriage?
No.
And she was the foundation of it all?
See, primarily with education and women going out, venturing out, discovering their own identity has led to independent thinking from the woman's point of view. And joint families are dwindling, nuclear families where the woman has lesser expectations to fulfill. So very easy for her to articulate her thoughts. Maybe there could be, verbal dissatisfactions, likes and dislikes. That sometimes does come in the marriage because men are still old-fashioned. They still feel that they are the providers. They still feel they have ultimate authority when it comes to taking decisions.
Yeah.
So the conflict arises then. I don't worry that much if both the parties are able to take care of 3-4 very, very important tips, which are really not difficult to even apply it in all our lives.
Yeah.
And if women and men, they do it, the marriage can be, if not wonderful, at least it can be very, very reasonable.
You know, Rajbir is here. He's just recently got married, and of course very happy at this point in time. But Rajbir, did you think about getting married before you actually got into it, or
yes,
or
I
was
did.
it something that you felt that, oh,
No, it wasn't something that was spontaneous, like, okay, here I
like,
found somebody.
it's
and now
society
it's
norm, I need to get married, so
No,
here I
never,
got married now.
For me, it never was like that. It's a very conscious thought, and I've in fact delayed it quite a bit and got married at a later stage to what other people would normally, what is a, you would say a benchmark, like you reach this age, so you get married and then you move on. But it was a very conscious decision, and yeah, I'm.
How important is commitment? Do you feel you're going to be, like, of course when you get into it, everybody feels they're going to be committed, So how do you view that?
You have to be committed to make anything work. You have to be committed, yes, surely.
Yeah. But because Ginny, I mean, do you think the modern day commitment standards are changing now?
I think so. Mostly, initially people used to get married mainly because it was a social requirement, yes, and procreation was another very important reason why they would actually get married.
Yeah.
Now it is more for companionship, and if they feel that that is lacking, they want to, or they are actually having an option to move out of that relationship, and that is where I think the problem lies. Falling in love is very, very easy. Staying in love is what is the problem nowadays, and there are lots of reasons why we want, like you very rightly said, instant gratification. If we are not finding it easy, we want to move on to better pastures. And I think that's where the problem rises now.
In a situation like this, who's making these decisions? Is it more the man or is it the woman?
Now I think the women are having the shots. At least they have better options to choose nowadays. They are financially more independent. They are very well educated. They feel that yes, they do have a right to have a life in which they can make the decisions per se. So now, yes, because the ladies are moving out, things are changing. Initially men used to do the calling, like I said.
Ginny rightfully said that. It's not that the women want to make decisions, but they want their opinion to be respected. It's not always that what I say is right, but at least can you hear me out? Earlier women were even afraid to
even
articulate their opinions openly. That is a major change today. And when they are heard, a lot of time they are also listened to then.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that, mainly I think, is the financial independence. Initially they did not have that call. They could not really move out, even if they were not happy in that particular option wasn't there. Now since they have the financial option, yes, they are willing to take the risk. Whether they are happy later on also or not is a secondary thing. But yes, they do not want to stay put in that particular scenario.
Right. But didn't they start airing their views a little more strongly 10 years or 50 years after getting married? It was not so much a question of, it may have been partly economic security, but it was also security in general. They were sure that the marriages now
pretty solid.
Now I can say what I like.
Yeah.
And she could have the man
now
on the run.
Possibly. But again, the marriages were intact. I don't think they really...
They remained intact.
They didn't...
By that time, the man had also learned to take a little bit of that criticism.
A little criticism, a little beating, it's all right, I'll take it. So, yeah. But, Mr. Shergill, you've been abroad for a number of years. And, if I look at the Western culture, the concept of which divorce was nothing new for them, it's been there more than it had been in India. But again, because that society is more I, me, myself, my desire, and my needs. Is my partner enhancing me or is he not enhancing me? So on those grounds they generally had that. Whereas if you look at India, our culture is a lot more different. We are more about giving. Do you think now that somewhere we're getting lost?
You see, it is different. I don't think it is different anymore. The same societal pressures are over here to urbanization, women empowerment, and at the same time I would say kind of a basic definition what you want from marriage, what marriage was providing you, and how do you find yourself in the sense what you want from life. It is more of a me, not in the old we. And secondly, you mentioned that the joint family has collapsed, true. Due to that reason, marriage is overloaded. You are together all the time. Previously, yeah, that was one role. There were other important institutions also. Your relationship with your mother-in-law was important, sister-in-law was important, brother-in-law, other. Now there is only just one person. He's supposed to be your friend, he's supposed to be your lover, he's supposed to be your provider, he's supposed to be your psychologist, he's supposed to be every damn thing.
It's putting a lot of burden.
It's totally burdened system now. And on the reverse of it, you are expecting a lot more on it.
Yeah,
So due to
expectations are
that,
far more higher.
this is too much to expect. At that too at a relatively immature age. Sorry to any younger people, that certain things come with life. And if you expect that much of a load on 25, 27 years old person, it is extremely difficult.
And when we have not prepared him for that.
And when we are not prepared for it at all.
Yeah, I think very correctly, you know, because we are in an Indian setup where we have not prepared our children for what the step further is going to be.
Especially the movies and the kind of sitcoms we see, they are all showing one aspect of the life, okay? We have the popcorn, the movies, the dates, and we are really not expecting the kind of responsibilities that would actually come along when you get married. And you know, you have to, the role plays would change. You're no longer the lover anymore or the boyfriend. You have to act as a father and the son-in-law or the brother-in-law, and there the responsibilities would change and it would limit your freedom, and that is where the problem arises, I think.
Rajvi, how much
It
has your
arises
life changed?
Not one bit.
It's the same?
Absolutely. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's not one bit.
How much time has it been actually that you've been married?
It's just 2 days actually short of 1 month, so it's not been very long, but
Yeah.
no.
So we are
no.
still in the honeymoon phase at the moment, so it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
extremely nice. Did you view all these problems? I mean, did you think that there would be a change?
No.
All
I
right.
didn't view that there would be a change. I wasn't looking for any change. And let's see, let's just take it as it comes. But one thing I'm very sure of is you have to work on it and you have to put in the effort. You have to work on anything.